Our school bus driver showed up drunk, removed the emergency exit handles, and screamed about his divorce while speeding toward a crosswalk full of preschoolers with 28 trapped kids on board. The school bus driver leaned in close and shouted, "Hurry up! I don't have all day!" He was slurring his words and couldn't even stand up straight. But here's the thing about Mr. Stone. He'd been driving for 10 years, so everyone trusted him and got on the bus. It wasn't until we were 10 minutes into the drive and he hit a squirrel that I finally started to worry. "Mr. Stone, maybe you should slow down." His bloodshot eyes snapped to mine in the mirror. "You trying to get me fired, kid?" That's when he cranked up the heat on full blast. In September, during a freaking storm, the windows fogged instantly, and we could barely see anything outside. Anyone else have anything to say? That's what I freaking thought. My brain started doing that thing where it lists all the reasons you're screwed. We were on the rural route in the middle of nowhere. The storm had killed the cell towers. Just my luck. I tried the emergency exit, pushed the bar, nothing. I tried the emergency exit in the back, still nothing. Derek, this kid who usually spent the whole ride making armpit noises, pointed out what we'd all missed. "Yo, the emergency exit mechanism was removed. Like with tools." My heart dropped. We were trapped. Mr. Stone made sure of it. When we saw the first stop sign, every bone in my body was hoping he'd stop, but he didn't. He didn't even slow down, just blew right through it. Selena's little brother was supposed to get off there. "Please, Mr. Stone," I said, standing up despite the bus swaying. "Just pull over for a second. Let us off. We won't tell anyone." "Sit down!" He actually spit when he yelled. "You just lost your bus privileges. I know where you all live. I can get you suspended." In the suffocating heat and fear, kids started breaking down. My 6-year-old sister Isabella was crying her tiny eyes out. The kindergartner across from her had already wet himself. Everyone was frantically texting, but nothing would send. Just spinning wheels and message failed. Then Blake, the school bully who everyone hated, stood up next to me. "Dude, just stop the bus." Mr. Stone laughed. Not a normal laugh either. More like a cackle. "Oh, the tough guy wants to fight? What are you gonna do? Beat up an old man?" That's when Mr. Stone practically tried to kill us all. A car was coming toward us. He saw it. We all saw it. He locked eyes with me in the mirror and smiled. No way. No effing way. Before my mind could even process what was going on, he yanked the wheel right at them. "That'll teach him to honk at me!" Isabella shrieked. Kids slammed into windows. My ribs hit the seat hard. The entire bus was filled with the sound of kids crying and him babbling like a crackhead. 10 years. 10 whole years of taking care of our children. But what does my bitch wife care? She just wants my money. His knuckles were white on the wheel. Take my house. Take my kids. But I still show up. The speedometer needle kept climbing. 40, 45, 50. School zone signs blurred past. The ones with the blinking lights that said 25 miles per hour when children present. He pressed harder on the gas. "Mr. Stone, shut up! All of you, shut up!" We blew through the intersection. Cross traffic swerved, honking. He took a swig out of his mysterious drink wrapped in a brown paper bag. I knew this route by heart. In 2 miles, we'd hit the main intersection. The one by the elementary school. The one where Mrs. Anderson would be standing with her line of preschoolers. "Mr. Stone," Selena tried, voice shaking. "The crossing guard is coming up." "Good! Maybe this will teach people to finally respect what I do." That's when I saw them through the fog. Mrs. Anderson in her neon vest. A line of toddlers holding that rope thing, waiting to cross. Little backpacks bouncing. They had no idea a 2-ton missile was heading straight for them. Blake looked at me. I looked at him. We both looked at the red emergency lever above the driver's seat. The one they tell you never, ever touch unless someone's literally dying. Yeah, well, I dove for it. Mr. Stone saw me coming, tried to grab me, but Blake, big bully Blake, yanked him back. Hard. My hand closed around the lever, and I pulled with everything I had. Brakes screamed. We all flew forward. I cracked my head on something metal and tasted blood, but we stopped. 10 feet from the crosswalk. 10 feet from those tiny dinosaur backpacks. The doors hissed open. That's what the emergency lever does. Opens everything. Kids scrambled out. Mr. Stone grabbing at them, screaming about conspiracies and ungrateful brats. Blake filmed him stumbling around the empty bus, yelling at ghosts. Mr. Stone was still in his seat when the cops showed up, insisting we'd staged everything to get him fired. They found 3 empty bottles under his seat. Vodka. His blood alcohol was twice the legal limit. But here's the part that messed me up. What they told us a week later, after our parents finally let us ride the bus again. So here's what nobody told us until a week later. Our bus driver had been reported for drinking 3 times before he almost killed us. 3 different parents complained about smelling booze on him, and the district buried every single report. The cop who interviewed me let that slip. "You kids weren't the first to notice," he said, flipping through his notes. "Just the first ones he couldn't hide." I'm sitting in math class 2 days later when Caden Harmon leans over. "Yo, my dad drinks with Mr. Stone at Murphy's every Friday." He's whispering, but everyone can hear. Says the dude got divorce papers that morning, right before picking us up. My stomach drops. So we were just, what, collateral damage in his midlife crisis? The principal calls this big assembly the next morning. Mrs. Peterson stands at the podium with her fake concerned face. "Students, I want to address the incident. Mr. Stone had a medical episode." Blake stands up right in the middle of her speech. "Medical episode?" He pulls out his phone and cranks the volume. The whole auditorium fills with Mr. Stone's voice. "Take my house. Take my kids. But I still show up." Mrs. Peterson's face goes white. "Blake, sit down immediately." Nah. He keeps the video playing. You can hear kids crying, the engine roaring, him screaming about his wife. "This what you call a medical episode?" Teachers scramble toward him, but he's already sent it to half the school. By lunch, Shh, everyone's seen it. That night, Isabella wakes up screaming. Again. Third time this week. She's convinced the bus is coming through her bedroom wall. The yellow monster's here. It's gonna get the babies. There's no bus, Bella. You're safe. But she won't let go of me for 2 hours. Keeps asking if the crossing guards' preschoolers are okay. Are the dinosaur backpacks okay? Did they get away? They're fine. Everyone's fine. Promise? Promise. My parents are beyond pissed. Dad's on the phone all night with other parents. Mom's typing furiously on her laptop, documenting everything. They file a complaint with 12 other families. The emergency school board meeting is packed. The superintendent, Dr. Richards, stands there in his expensive suit, acting like we're being dramatic. This was an isolated incident. We're conducting a thorough review. Isolated? Someone's mom stands up. My daughter won't sleep. She's 8 years old and taking anxiety medication. We understand your concerns. No, you don't. Another parent. You weren't on that bus. Derek's mom, this total research nerd, raises her hand. I found something interesting in public records. She pulls out a folder. Complaint from 2 years ago. Parent reported Mr. Stone smelling like alcohol. Marked unsubstantiated by April Mendoza. The room erupts. Here's another one from last year. She keeps reading. And one from 2 months before our incident. Every single one mentions alcohol. Everyone dismissed by the same person. April Mendoza, the transportation supervisor, gets up. I investigated each complaint thoroughly. There was never evidence. You never asked me. Joey Tanaka, the bus mechanic, stands up in the back. 20 years I've been fixing those buses. You never once asked me to check for bottles. April's face goes red. That's not protocol. I found 3 bottles last month under his seat. Told you about it. You said to mind my own business. My dad pulls me aside after. Joey whispers something to him that makes Dad's jaw clench. Someone posts Blake's video online that night. By dinner, it has 40,000 views. The caption just says, "This is what the school district calls a medical episode." Next morning, there's news vans everywhere. Channel 7, Channel 4, even CNN. The district can't pretend nothing happened anymore. The superintendent goes on TV. I watch him lie with a straight face. We followed all protocols. The emergency exits were probably jammed by students. Blake texts me a close-up from his video. You can see tool marks where someone removed the handles. Clear as day. Sending this to the news, he writes. 3 kids from other routes come forward the next day. Sarah Chen's mom has dashcam footage of Mr. Stone running a red light with a full bus 2 weeks before our thing. Another kid says he swerved into oncoming traffic last month. We weren't special, Derek says at lunch. We were just the time he got caught. Isabella starts therapy but won't talk. She just draws. Picture after picture of a yellow monster with red eyes eating stick figures. The therapist tells Mom it's normal, but I see Mom crying in the kitchen looking at them. She used to draw rainbows, Mom whispers to Dad. Now it's just this. We all get letters from the district's lawyer, official letterhead, threatening language about spreading unverified information and potential legal consequences. Mom laughs. Actually laughs. They care more about getting sued than keeping kids safe. We should frame it, Dad says. Proof of what they really care about. Something feels off about how the district keeps mentioning protocols while 3 different parents reported Mr. Stone for drinking and nothing happened. Makes me wonder what their actual investigation process looks like when every single complaint gets marked unsubstantiated by the same person. I start writing everything down. Every conversation, every date, every lie they tell. Derek helps me make a timeline on his computer. We realize Mr. Stone had been getting worse all week. Monday, he missed 3 stops. Tuesday, he took a wrong turn and screamed at a kid who pointed it out. Wednesday, he was 20 minutes late. It was building up, Derek says, like a bomb. Meredith Thayer gets all the parents together at the library. She's a paralegal and knows how to request documents. We need evidence before they destroy it. I've already filed FOIA requests for all emails mentioning Mr. Stone from the last 3 years. Can they just ignore those? Someone asks. They can try, but I know judges who don't like it when districts hide things about child safety. Next board meeting, parents pack the room. Standing room only. When they try to go into private session, Meredith stands up. According to state law, section 15.268, discussions regarding student safety must be held in open session unless they involve specific medical records. She's reading from her phone. You can't hide this. Dr. Richards looks like he wants to strangle her. We're following legal counsel. Your legal counsel is wrong. I have the Attorney General's opinion right here. They stay in open session, but they don't say anything useful. Just bureaucratic word soup about procedures and investigations. The principal calls me into her office the next Monday. Then Blake, then Derek, then Sarah, one by one. I just want to make sure we have the story straight, she says when it's my turn. Sometimes when we're scared, we might misremember things. I remember everything perfectly. Are you sure? Because Mr. Stone says you kids were being disruptive. Maybe that's why he seemed agitated? He was drunk. That's a very serious accusation. It's not an accusation. It's a fact. 3 bottles of vodka. She leans forward. Sometimes what seems like one thing might actually be another. Maybe he was just having a bad day? Are you seriously trying to get me to change my story? I'm just making sure you remember correctly. Blake recorded his whole conversation. His dad, Bradley Kang, told him to record everything after that threat letter. Good thing too, because she basically tried to get him to say we were exaggerating. She kept saying, "Are you sure? And maybe you misunderstood," Blake tells us at lunch. Like 50 times. Then things get really interesting. Mr. Stone's ex-wife messages my mom on Facebook. I warned them, her message says. 6 months ago when I filed for divorce, I told April Mendoza he was drinking. I told her he was dangerous. She said without proof, they couldn't do anything. I said, what more proof do you need than a wife of 15 years telling you? No Nobody listened. Mom forwards it to Meredith immediately. Kate Woodard contacts our parent group next. She used to drive buses but quit last year. I reported Stone showing up drunk. April told me to shut up about it or I'd lose my job. I quit instead. I kept the emails. She forwards everything. Email after email. April threatening her job, telling her she's making waves, suggesting she might want to reconsider her employment. The district announces an internal review, but won't let any parents or students on the committee. For your own protection, they say. Protection from what? Dad asks at dinner. The truth? Isabella has a panic attack at school because she sees a yellow pencil. A pencil. The teacher calls Mom, and we spend the afternoon at the hospital getting her anxiety meds. She's 6, Mom keeps saying to the doctor. 6 years old and she needs anxiety medication. Trauma doesn't care about age, the doctor says. Half the kids stop coming to school. Their parents won't put them on buses anymore. My history class has 8 kids instead of 25. Teachers look exhausted trying to manage with empty classrooms and worried parents calling constantly. The state investigators show up 3 weeks later. Not the local guys who play golf with the superintendent. Actual state officials with badges and zero patience for BS. We need to speak with each student individually, the lead investigator tells our parents. No school officials present. They set up in the community center. When it's my turn, the woman across from me actually listens, writes down every word, asks follow-up questions that make sense. Did anyone check the emergency exits before that day? I don't know. We just trusted they worked. Who told you to stop talking about this? The principal suggested we might be misremembering things. She writes faster. I can't stop checking exits now. Movie theaters, restaurants, stores. First thing I do is locate every way out. Derek texts me one night. Dude, I counted exits at Walmart today. That normal? I do it too. I text back. The therapist Mom makes me see calls it hypervigilance. Says it's because of trauma. Whatever. I just know I'll never trust that exits work again without checking myself. April Mendoza announces her retirement 2 days after the state investigators leave. The district claims it's unrelated, but Joey texts my dad. She got a choice. Quit or get fired. Took the pension. Then someone leaks emails to Channel 7. The superintendent telling April to handle the situation quietly after the second complaint about Mr. Stone. He knew. The whole time, he knew. We need to get a lawyer, Meredith tells the parent group. Together, class action. 23 families chip in. The district's response? They cancel all field trips for the rest of the year. The official reason is unexpected legal expenses. They're punishing the kids for us speaking up, Mom says. Blake shows up to school wearing a homemade shirt. I survived bus 47. The principal suspends him for disrupting the learning environment. Bradley Kang is in the office within an hour. You're suspending my son for wearing a shirt about surviving attempted vehicular homicide while under your care? Blake's back in school 2 days later. Then things get weird. The Nguyens suddenly drop out of the lawsuit. No explanation. But their dad works for the city, and someone definitely threatened his job. Joey gets fired next. 20 years fixing buses, gone for performance issues that mysteriously appeared right after he agreed to testify about the tampered exits. They're picking us off, Dad says at dinner, making examples. He's right. Derek's parents make him stop talking about it after their insurance randomly doubles. His dad needs city contracts for his construction business. Can't afford to make enemies. 2 weeks later, Dad loses his warehouse job. Officially, it's downsizing, but the owner's brother sits on the school board. Dad was the loudest at those meetings. We'll be fine, he tells me, but I see him up at 3 a.m. applying for jobs online. Isabella gets worse, way worse. She stops eating because she's afraid she'll throw up like kids did on the bus. Won't sleep because of nightmares. Mom finds her hiding in the closet at 2 a.m., convinced she hears the bus coming. The hospital admits her for failure to thrive. That's what they call it when a kid stops functioning. The psychiatrist says she has PTSD, like actual PTSD that soldiers get. She's 6, Mom keeps saying. How does a 6-year-old have PTSD? Trauma doesn't discriminate by age, the doctor says. The district's lawyer deposes us kids next. 8 hours of questions. The same questions, over and over, trying to trip us up. You said the driver swerved. How many feet exactly? I don't know. I was trying not to die. But you can't give an exact measurement? Number. So you might be wrong about the swerving entirely? Bradley finally stops it. You're badgering minors. We're done here. That night, Blake texts our group chat. Made copies of everything before they tried to take our phones. 3 different clouds, plus my dad's firm server. They can't make evidence disappear. Smart. Because 2 days later, the district loses some complaints during a system upgrade. Then everything breaks wide open. Someone sends the FBIA package. Proof of kickbacks between the transportation department and the bus contractor. Suddenly, April's retirement makes perfect sense. Isabella finally talks in therapy. Mom tells me later what she said. I thought I was going to die and never see my brother again. Is the bad man coming back? The therapist has to explain that Mr. Stone is in jail, but Isabella doesn't believe it. Keeps asking for proof. Blake shows me his backup system one day. It's insane. Everything organized by date, cross-referenced, multiple copies. My dad says evidence wins cases, not feelings. The FBI finds years of fake safety inspections. Buses marked as passed with broken parts, all because the contractor was saving money. They were splitting the savings with April. The state files charges, criminal charges, against the superintendent, April, 2 board members. Mr. Stone gets 28 counts, 1 for each kid on the bus. We watch from our classroom window as cops walk the superintendent out in handcuffs. Someone starts clapping. Soon, everyone is. is. The investigation finds $32,000 in payments to April's husband's consulting company from the bus contractor. The whole transportation department was on the take. Mr. Stone's sentencing comes up. He takes a plea deal for 5 years. But at the hearing, he stands up and blames everyone else. His ex-wife for divorcing him, the district for not supporting him, even us kids for making a big deal out of nothing. You traumatized 28 children, the judge says. You betrayed the ultimate trust, the safety of children. I have to read a victim impact statement. My hands shake, but I get through it. You stole our ability to trust. Every yellow vehicle makes my sister cry. Every bus we see makes kids panic. You did that. Smart move making copies before they tried their phone grab. Nothing says we're totally innocent, like trying to delete evidence from kids who almost died on your watch. The district's insurance company forces them to settle. It's not about money. We just want them to admit what they did. Make them say out loud that they knew and did nothing. The case creates new state rules. Daily exit checks, mandatory random driver testing, and complaints go straight to outside investigators now. They call it Isabella's Law, after my sister, since she was the youngest victim. Isabella slowly gets better. Therapy twice a week, medication for anxiety, and a service dog named Biscuit, who knows when she's about to panic. She can ride in cars again, but won't go near buses. Probably never will. Blake and I are friends now. Weird how almost dying together changes things. The kid who used to steal my lunch money is now the person I trust most at school. The new transportation supervisor creates a safety monitor program. 2 kids on each bus get direct phone numbers to call if something's wrong. No going through the school first. Derek and I volunteer immediately. At Mr. Stone's final sentencing, the judge lets us speak. I tell him about Isabella's drawings, about kids who still can't sleep, about parents who quit jobs to drive their kids to school. These children were heroes, the judge says. They saved lives that day, and they've saved future lives by speaking up. 6 months pass. We're different, but surviving. More careful, less trusting, but we made it through together. First day of the new school year arrives. I walk Isabella to her new school. She flat out refuses to take the bus, and nobody blames her. You'll be okay? She asks me at the entrance. Yeah, Bella, I'll be okay. Promise you'll check the exits? Promise. She hugs me extra tight before running to her classroom. Our new bus driver meets us at the stop. Mrs. Chen shows us her clean driving record, demonstrates that all exits work, and points out the new panic button that calls 911 directly. I know trust has to be earned, she says. I'm going to earn it. Isabella waves from her classroom window as my bus pulls away. She's okay with me riding, even if she never will be herself. I sit in the same seat where it all happened. Not because I have to, but because I won't let fear win. But yeah, I check the exits. Keep Bradley's number saved. Trust has to be earned now, and that's just how it is. The news crews come back 3 months later for a Where Are They Now segment. The reporter sticks a mic in my face outside school. How has this experience changed you? We don't trust anymore, I tell her. That's the biggest change. She wants something more uplifting, but that's all I got. Mom shows me the district's new hiring paperwork that night. Background checks, drug testing, psychological evaluations. Too little, too late, she says, tossing it aside. Isabella's teacher calls a meeting. She won't participate in any activity involving transportation themes. No toy buses, no field trip discussions, nothing yellow. She's processing, Mom says. It's affecting her learning. We did a unit on community helpers, and she had a meltdown when we talked about bus drivers. The district offers free counseling for all bus 47 kids. Only 3 families take it. Everyone else found their own therapists because nobody trusts anything the district offers anymore. Blake's dad files a civil suit separate from the group. Criminal charges aren't enough, Bradley tells my parents. They need to pay damages. The discovery process uncovers more dirt. Turns out April's husband owned part of the bus contractor company. Conflict of interest they never disclosed. How deep does this go? Dad asks at dinner. All the way, Mom says. Derek finally texts me after weeks of silence. Parents are making me transfer schools. They think distance will help me forget. Will it? Doubt it. 2 board members resign to spend more time with family. The 3rd one lawyers up and stops showing up to meetings. The community demands recalls, but the process takes forever. Isabella asks me one night, why didn't the grown-ups protect us? They were supposed to, but they didn't. No, they didn't. She thinks about this. So we have to protect ourselves? Yeah, Bella, we do. The state sends monitors to observe our district for a year. They find problems in every department. Maintenance, food service, administration. The whole system was rotten. Blake starts a YouTube channel documenting everything, gets thousands of subscribers. The district tries to shut it down, but Bradley reminds them about free speech. They created an activist, Bradley tells my dad. Their worst nightmare. Joey Tanaka wins his wrongful termination suit. The judge orders the district to rehire him with back pay plus damages. He takes the money, but refuses the job. I'll never work for people who put kids at risk, he tells the news. The new superintendent they hire quits after 2 months. Can't handle the scrutiny, the protests, the constant investigations. The state has to appoint someone. Isabella's service dog Biscuit goes everywhere with her now. The school had to change their no pets policy. Some parents complain, but Mom shuts them down fast. Your kid's comfort is less important than my daughter's mental health, she tells one dad who whines about allergies. We find out Mr. Stone is getting out early for good behavior, 2 years instead of 5. The prosecutor calls it standard, but we know it's wrong. Good behavior in prison doesn't erase what he did to those kids. The judge who sentenced him tells the news. But she can't change the parole board's decision. Blake organizes a protest at the parole hearing. 50 people show up. The board doesn't care. Mr. Stone walks out smiling. He'll violate parole within 6 months, Bradley predicts. Guys like him always do. 3 weeks later, Mr. Stone gets arrested for DUI. Bradley was generous with his timeline. The district's insurance company drops them. They have to self-insure now, which means cutting programs. Art, music, sports, all gone to pay for liability coverage. You did this, some parent yells at Mom during a budget meeting. No, Mom says. The district did this when they let a drunk drive our kids. Isabella starts first grade at a private school. We can't afford it, but Mom says we'll figure it out. She carpools with 3 other families who also pulled their kids out. The state passes Isabella's law officially. Mandatory reporting directly to state officials, not district employees. Random drug testing for all drivers. Panic buttons on every bus. It shouldn't take almost killing kids to get basic safety, Meredith says at the signing ceremony. Derek's gone now. His family moved 2 towns over. He texts sometimes, but it's not the same. Trauma bonds are weird, intense, but hard to maintain when someone's not there. Blake and I eat lunch together every day. Other kids think it's weird, but we don't care. He shows me his latest video evidence of the district's screw-ups. Found maintenance records, he says. They haven't inspected the playground equipment in 3 years. You're gonna be a lawyer like your dad? Nah, investigative journalist. More fun. The FBI investigation expands. They find similar corruption in 6 other districts. Our case broke open something huge. April Mendoza flips and testifies against everyone to avoid prison. She's throwing everyone under the bus, Bradley tells us. Pun intended. Mom laughs for the first time in months. Isabella has good days and bad days. Good days, she's almost her old self. Bad days, she won't leave her room. The therapist says it's normal, that healing isn't linear. When will she be okay? I ask. Define okay, the therapist says. Like before. She'll never be like before, but she'll find her new normal. The district holds a healing ceremony on the anniversary. Nobody from Bus 47 shows up. They plant a tree and make speeches to empty chairs. Blake live streams it. Look at them pretending to care, he narrates. Where was this energy when we needed it? Kate Woodard becomes a whistleblower advocate. Travels around speaking about what happens when people try to report problems. She always mentions our bus. 28 kids almost died because I was too scared to push harder, she says. I'll never forgive myself for that. The superintendent and 2 board members take plea deals. Probation and fines, no jail time. The judge says there's not enough evidence for stronger charges. Not enough evidence? Dad throws the newspaper across the room. They have everything. They have money and lawyers, Mom says. We have truth. Guess which one wins? Isabella draws a new picture. Not a yellow monster this time. Kids standing together, holding hands, facing something dark outside the frame. What's this? I ask. Us being brave, she says. Are we winning? Not yet, but we're not alone. Progress, the therapist calls it. The new bus company starts service with drivers wearing body cameras. Parents can track buses on an app. Every exit gets tested daily with video proof. This should have been standard years ago, Meredith says. Blake's channel hits 100,000 subscribers. He posts weekly updates on the trials, the investigation, the district's attempts to cover things up. Comments pour in from around the country. Similar stories, covered up incidents, kids nobody believed. We started something, he tells me. Yeah, but at what cost? He looks at Isabella playing with Biscuit. Too high. The civil trial starts next month. Bradley says we have a strong case, but warns us it could take years. The district will delay, appeal, fight every step. They're hoping we'll give up, he explains. Will we? I ask Mom. Never. Isabella overhears us talking about the trial. Will I have to talk about the bus again? Maybe. I don't want to. You don't have to if you're not ready. She hugs Biscuit tighter. I'll never be ready. Mr. Stone violates parole again. Bar fight this time. Goes back to prison for the full sentence plus 2 years. What I find really interesting is how the new bus company uses body cameras and daily exit testing with video proof. Such smart safety steps that make me wonder why nobody thought of this before Isabella's law made it happen. Blake posts his mugshot with the caption, Karma. The state takes over our district completely, dissolves the board, fires half the administration. Parents have to drive to the state capitol for meetings now. Joey Tanaka starts his own bus company with a few other drivers who quit. Safe Passage Transit. Isabella sees their buses around town. They're blue, not yellow. Those are good buses, she tells me. No monsters drive those. Small victories. The documentary crew follows up 6 months later. They interview all of us separately. When they ask Isabella what she learned, she says something that breaks me. I learned that sometimes the people who are supposed to keep you safe are the most dangerous ones. She's 7 years old. Blake's evidence helps convict 3 more officials. The corruption went all the way to the county level. Contractors, inspectors, administrators, all taking kickbacks while kids rode death traps. How many other districts are like this? The documentary director asks. All of them, Blake says. They just haven't been caught yet. The film wins awards. Changes nothing. Isabella has a panic attack at her friend's birthday party because they rented a yellow bounce house. We leave early. Biscuit pressed against her side, her crying that the monster found her. It's just a color, the friend's mom says. Not to her, I snap. We don't get invited back. The trial drags on. Depositions, motions, delays. The district's lawyers try every trick. They subpoena Isabella's therapy records. Bradley fights it and wins, but it takes months. They're trying to break us financially, Dad says after another legal bill arrives. It's working, Mom admits. Blake organizes fundraisers, posts GoFundMe links. His followers donate thousands. Strangers who've never met us send money because they've been there too. Nobody should have to pay to get justice, one donor writes. Derek texts me that his new school is better. Says kids there don't know about the bus. He can pretend it never happened. Does that work? Number, but it's easier than everyone knowing. Isabella starts second grade, still won't ride buses. Probably never will, but she's learning to live with it. Biscuit helps, therapy helps, time sort of helps. Are you still scared? She asks me one night. Sometimes. Of buses? Of trusting the wrong people. She nods like she's 40, not 7. Me too. The district settles right before trial. Sealed amount. No admission of wrongdoing. Our lawyers say it's the best we'll get. They win again, Mom says. No, Bradley corrects. They survived. There's a difference. Isabella's law gets adopted by 12 states, then 20, then 35. Bus drivers everywhere get tested. Exits get checked. Kids get panic buttons. We saved lives we'll never know about. Was it worth it? Isabella asks me. Everything that happened to us? I think about all the kids who ride buses today with working exits and sober drivers because we spoke up. Yeah, Bella, it was worth it. She pets Biscuit and considers this. I still hate buses though. Me too. Forever? Probably. She seems okay with that. We both are. Some things change you permanently. You just learn to work around the damage. Blake gets accepted to journalism school early admission. Sends me his essay. It's about Bus 47, about speaking truth to power, about protecting people who can't protect themselves. You're gonna change the world, I tell him. We already did. Thanks for letting me question things right along with you. Been fun wondering about everything together. Catch you next time. Like the video, it helps more than you think.